Good afternoon, this is Heretic on 2 and welcome to my channel. It's my first video, so this is going to be something that's done before, but I figure a little redundancy never hurts. I'm going to be installing a fueling dongle from Rottweiler Performance on my 2024 KTM 690 Enduro R. Basically from KTM, the fueling's a little bit lean from the factory, below 5,500 RPMs, and about 20% throttle. You find it gets a little bit sputtery with the fuel delivery at low RPMs. So this dongle is supposed to trick the ECU into increasing fuel richness by about a half point to a full point, kind of getting rid of that stuttering, and act as like an intermediary before you get a full tune. They're pretty cheap. They're like 30 or 40 bucks for the dongle, and the install's pretty simple. Basically, what you get from Rottweiler is the dongle, just a little plug. It replaces the spot where your O2 sensor plugs in, and then since you're going to be removing an O2 sensor most of the time, you get a little plug that goes in the bung. Aside from your dongle, you don't need much. Basically just a number 17 wrench. This will get the O2 sensor off, and a few zip ties, just for shoring the dongle up with the O2 sensor plug and keep it out of the way and clean. So here's my bike. O2 sensor, if you can see, is right in there. And we're going to be taking that guy out and then following the cable up to its plug, disconnecting the plug, and then plugging the dongle into where it was previously plugged in at, then just zip tie it up and out of the way. One thing, this cable's kind of tucked in there, so it helps if you get your seat off and then take off the left fairing. This is usually where your little tool bag is held. It just pops out in the middle and then slides forward and comes right off. This way you can kind of see where your cables and everything are running, snip zip ties as needed, and kind of get stuff out of the way. You can see right here, this is the end of the cable, and where the plug's going to end up going, it feeds all the way down. Of course, this is a new bike, and I've got like 200 miles on it, so nothing's seized up. Nice and easy to get things undone here. No big hassles. If you hear, as you just did, a bunch of uhs and ahs, I'm pretty new to talking on a camera. I'm not the best at it. I don't really care for it, but I'm trying to get into the habit of doing this. All right, it's binding up a little bit, so I'm going to use my cable snips to snip off one of these zip ties here. O2 sensor is free. And then snippy snip a couple more of these ties. There it is. Another tie up here. That one's going to be fun to replace. Okay. Then the plug. There we go. Nice and easy. So when you're doing this, there's a little tab right here at the top. Press it up with your fingernail while pulling out. It'll just come right out. Let me just fish this bad boy back through and set it aside for later, just in case you switch out to a fueling solution and tuning solution that requires an O2 sensor. You won't be stuck without one. So first things first, let's replace the bung. You get a lot of options for these. It's just basic steel, stainless steel, or titanium. Obviously, if you've got a titanium header, you want to keep your bolts consistent and everything, but if you're planning on swapping out your exhaust, it doesn't hurt to just get the cheaper one. Not that it's much money, but it's a bit. And that said, I do plan on getting new exhaust, likely a Tecmo titanium header, and then probably just go with the Wings titanium can. Really help with the heat, lighten stuff up, but that's a ways down the road. I'd really like to get a rally fairing first. All right, probably helps to use the wobbly too, but you can manage even with some daisy chained stuff here. Next up, take your plug, plug in your plug, tuck it back up in there, and then zip tie back together all the stuff you just de-zip tied. There's the one. And number two. Pretty much it, just two zip ties. The third one was holding the O2 sensor wire alone, so you don't need it, and we are good to go. Right. Pretty much all set. The only other thing you'd want to do is a ECU relearn or recalibration on these bikes. Pretty simple. You're going to take your key, put it in the ignition, you will turn on your power switch. You're going to turn on your ignition one click over. You're going to turn your throttle slowly all the way back, all the way forward. Turn off your key, wait for the sounds to stop, turn your key back on, start the engine, and then let it idle for exactly 15 minutes and 30 seconds, and then shut it off. It should be good to go. I hope this helps. I know it's a pretty simple process, but I guess if you haven't done it before, it's nice to know what to do precisely. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.